and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to just kind of have fun and do a kind of like abstract look. Just something I don't know. It's like, let's do an alien inspired look because those are always super fun and you can be super creative with them. So I'm going to do them, and I feel like I can talk a lot about growing up and feeling like an alien, like not like an actual like being from another Earth, but just feeling different and feeling not really knowing my place in the world. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I've always kind of felt like I've always like vibed with that. So I guess that's why I'm into aliens. Also, X-Files was a huge part of my childhood, and so growing up and watching X-Files, I mean, that just aliens were something I had to. we all talked about. So I you might notice that I bleach my hair. So my roots are now relatively matching the rest of my hair. And I bleached my eyebrows. They're a little bit more yellow right now because I put yellow eyeliner in them yesterday. So I tried to get most of it out yesterday, but I think they kind of stained a little bit, but that's okay. It's unusual for yellow to stain, but okay. So I'm trying to decide if I want it to have like a yellow base or like another color. I think I do. I mean, a white base or another color. I think I'm gonna use my clown white to start things off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my glasses so you can see that I do look more like a naked mole rat than normal. I have been on the fence about whether or not I wanted to shave my brows. So I was like, dyeing them is kind of like good in between, because then if I could fill them in if I'm not feeling it, or I could pretend like I don't have eyebrows. Now, one thing is I am going to block out my brows because I don't want the hairs, even though you don't see them too much. I think I still want them like laying down. So let me get what I need for that. Of course, I put like that particular item away. Okay, we got my glue, and then let me get an alcohol wipe. Okay, so just gonna clean my skin and hair with a alcohol wipe and remove any oils from the area. I do notice a huge difference in the quality of coverage when I use a wipe. I still got some yellow off of that. So let that dry really quickly. I do have my clickety clackety fan, which is just something subtle. Flip it so I'm not looking stupid on the internet, because that would be terrible. Just something subtle. It's very, very flimsy. I think it's because it's so long too. But yeah, it's pretty flimsy. So it just feels like, or it just sounds like I'm just shaking a piece of paper next to my face. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. So now that I've done that, and I'm going to take a little sip of coffee. This is one of my new mugs, Live Laugh Toaster Bath. Okay. going to get a disposable mascara wand. And then start getting that glue all up in those 8 brow hairs that I have. And then taking a clean spoolie, or you can use kind of like something like flat metal. Then do the same thing on the other side. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So now that I have this coat on, I'm going to let it dry in between layers. This is why videos like this, it's nice to record them, because then I could just like cut a lot of this part, because I'm sure it's boring. Oh, I got a little handheld fan thing. So I could have used that to be like super beauty guru and stuff. But right now we got this because I'm too lazy to walk over there and get literally that fan that's sitting right there. Laziness. I wonder if I can fan. Ugh, damn it. I spill my coffee. I spill my coffee every day. For me, it's not a question of like if I will spill my coffee, it's when I will spill my coffee. Did I get my chair? I can't decide. I spill, like, I literally, like, I'm not joking, every single day, like clockwork. I'm very clumsy, and I'm also very shaky. I just have, I haven't been diagnosed with an essential tremor, but my dad has one, and I have a tremor as well, but I'm also on a lot of medication, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, so it happens. Now, you really want to make sure it's dry before you put on your next layer. Otherwise, you could disrupt that first layer. And then, thing is, if you try to put something over that disrupted brow, you're just going to have a really, really hard time. So it's worth it taking the time and just being more patient than you want to be. Because I know you don't want to be patient, because I don't want to be patient either. It's just super annoying, but like, here we are. I'm not really sure what I'm going for in this look, and yeah, I have no idea what I'm thinking for it. So I might just kind of go for some color, like just crazy color placement, and just kind of see what shakes out from that. Because that's usually kind of what my just random looks are. I think it would be fun to pull in some yellow because I just put a lot of yellow in my hair. Maybe do something with like black and yellow because my hair color, and just pull that in or something. I don't know, because then sometimes like I like to include makeup into my hair, but it really just depends on the look, and sometimes it's just about the face and what I can do, and that's enough. Okay, so dry. I'm gonna put another coat. And you want to push it up in the direction of the hair that you laid down. So even though most of your brow hairs go this way here, you don't want to go this way because you've laid them up straighter, or up kind of vertically. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot of brow hairs, and all of this I've shaved off, so I don't have to worry about covering those. It's actually really hard to cover when you just have a couple hairs, like when you have like 10 hairs there, because they don't really have anything to kind of group together and stick to, so they don't develop that like shell look or whatever, where everything kind of glues together. They're just kind of like randomly glued hairs to your head. So it looks kind of random, but those aren't usually the ones that poke through your makeup and make it look really, really bad. So whatever. Oh, I have some new facial jewelry that I've been meaning to change. I hope it looks good. I have a spider, which I used to have a spider. I used to have a little black spider here. Now I have a dagger, and then I have different color nose rings. But yeah, like I think like the idea of an alien, and like, you know, I've for people who know me really well, when I talk about gender and my own gender journey, there was a lot of like feeling just like different, and like feeling like an alien. Like I really felt like I could like vibe with that, because I just felt different and felt the wrong way again. But I felt like I could like relate to that so much, because I too just felt different, and I felt like I didn't belong. And as I was growing up and I started hearing words like queer and like lesbian and gay and then trans, it's like all of these things, all of them started to make sense in ways that I could label myself. And while I didn't feel like I needed a label to exist and to be myself, it was like, oh, this is not something that is just like this random isolated experience that I have and nobody else has. It's like, oh, this is something that other people feel and like have dealt with, and this is like, I'm not alone in this experience. So it really felt, as I was being introduced to these terms, as I saw representation of people who are living their lives like happy and healthy, and like not hurting anyone, and not that I was afraid that I was defective. I just knew that I was me. You know, that's one of the things that I'm thankful that my experience was, is I never felt defective. I just felt different. And I think that was a huge part of growing up for me, was just feeling different. And so when I was growing up, all of my friends were people of like various minorities, regardless of what minority it was, but it was just because we felt different, and like we could relate to each other on that aspect. And even though like you might look at me and be like, you are not a minority. um, but all my friends were, you know, like racial or ethnic minorities, or had different family structures or different things like that, because we just felt different, and we all kind of had each other's backs because we, you know, knew what it was like to not know where we kind of like fit. And I'm thankful for that, like, bond that we had, because without them I would have been so alone. So I didn't ever feel alone in feeling different. I just did feel different, and I didn't know why until much later in life. And I was like, oh yeah, no wonder, you know. My thing's about to come out. I'm trying to like, I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I'm trying to like envision what I want to do with like my face shape and how I want it to play into certain things. And like, so I'm thinking of some colors. I think I might do some yellow and some purple and some like white here, and then like black, like purple fading into black, and then see what like Nick make it. I just have patience for it, honestly. Okay. So let me grab some powder, and then we'll do the last coat of these armadillo eyebrows. Ugh. So much powder. I watched another tutorial recently on how someone did their brows, and I was like, I want to give that a try, because it was just like a slight difference from how I do mine, and so I went to give it a try. So I've seen people lick their glue stick so many times, and obviously I would not do this if I was like doing someone else's makeup. I would just like spray water on it, but because the stick is mine, this is my stick. But using the moisture of it to kind of, what it does is the water kind of breaks down the glue a tiny little bit, so it helps thin it out, so you get a nice thin layer, and then you set it with powder. Usually I just set it with powder when it's wet, but doing that final layer with they had only licked it for that final layer, and I was like, interesting, never really thought about it like that. So doing something that I don't normally do, so we'll see how it works. You don't want too much moisture that it starts breaking down all of your hard work there. But now that that's there, as before that moisture can evaporate or break down what you've done, powder the shit out of it, like so much powder. So yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you that this is a lot of powder to put on your face. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. It feels so morally wrong. like it feels like I've broken like a boundary, and I feel like I should like be stripped of like something. I don't know what I would be stripped of, but I feel like I should be stripped of it. Okay, now that I have glued down my brows, hopefully successfully, I'm going to let that powder up. I'm gonna try to clean as I go, which is not normally how I do uh, things because I forget, and then I'm like, oh god, the mess is crazy and huge. Okay, I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush and go and remove any excess powder from the area. Now, before this, I did wash my face. I did apply my moisturizer. So my moisturizer has been sitting on my skin. When I used that alcohol wipe, I did remove the moisturizer that was in my eyebrow area, but that's okay. And now I'm going to apply my primer. So for this look, I think I have so many primers, and I really need to give. And there's this one that I still need to try out, but I feel like this is not like I want to try it out on like my usual foundation. But I think I'm going to do a video of like trying out viral makeup because you know, I would like to be popular for doing makeup. Because that would help me with my business. So if you like watching my makeup videos, like make sure you like them on my makeup page. You can share them out on my whatever. I don't care. I hate telling people what to do in these types of things. It's just not really my thing. Like the like and subscribe. I know it helps. But it's just not my style. Now on the videos that I like record and edit, I do have like a card that says like, you know, like and subscribe and all that shit. But I don't have to say it physically. So okay, so the primer that I just used is the MAC Studio Fix Mattifying 12-Hour Shine Control Primer. So I just use that in the places where I do get oily throughout the day. Granted, I'm going to be using a lot of cream, especially for my base, and so those I'm not too worried about, but I just don't want any oiliness breaking up any makeup. This honestly is the best that I found for like anti-shine, like long wear, like daily makeup. Like this is really good. And then I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish. The saleswoman at Namie's got me. She got me. She's like, it's been a what do you call it? Like a industry like standard for a long time for a reason, and I'm like, it slides right off my face, and she's like, well, you're using it wrong, let me tell you how to use it. So here I am using the primer that made me hate primer for a long time and made me avoid all silicone primers for a very long time. So I'm really working it into the skin. I'm getting a very thin amount and really working it into my face. I mean, the thing is, like, silicone does do so much to smooth and blur. It's just about keeping it on your face, which is why I find pairing it with the with the anti-shine, like to keep my face from getting oily, really helps because if I remember correctly, I think silicone primers tend to be best on drier skin types. So making sure that you don't have a lot of oil coming through your makeup is good. And then obviously we want to make sure that we're not going over and putting a lot of stuff over our eyebrows because we don't want to disrupt all that beautiful work that we did. Beautiful, amazing, incredible work. Okay, so here's another time we're going to let that fully absorb into the skin. Bring the drama, mama. It's like when you didn't have much eyebrow to show to start out with, it looks really silly, but I don't feel like I need to color correct because my brows are bleached, so I'm not going to worry about that, especially because I'm going to be doing some pretty full coverage makeup on top, so I'm not worried about that. But if you do need to color correct, you can do that. But let's just get to having fun. That's what we're here for, right? Or maybe you're not here for fun. That's okay too. So I'm going to apply. I have a brush I really want to try, but okay, this is a fun brush for blending. But let me see. Otherwise, we're gonna do a sponge. This is a perfect brush for this. I just need to clean it real quick. I really do like this brush cleaner. I did, I think I talked about it before. This is the Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleaner. It's literally an iconic brush cleaner. I did use another brush cleaner for a really, really long time, and I think it either got discontinued or it just got the brand just stopped being sold at Ulta, so it just became harder to find. And now I'm not sure if it's like expired product or not. But I used to use the Japanese brush cleaner, which is so good. It smells like I would be at photo shoots and then I'd be cleaning my brushes and it smells like fresh peeled oranges. It's such a good brush cleaner. It really, really gets everything out of there. But this is also good. It smells very sanitary. It comes in a bunch of different sizes and it really cleans your brushes. You should clean your brushes. This is I'm talking to you. If you have a makeup bag and your brushes are dirty in there, clean them. Now you might be like, shut the hell up, because you have a bag that you dig in every day and you get dirty brushes out of, but I know I'm going to clean them before I put them on my face. And I definitely clean them before I do like client makeup. So get off my back. But this makes it really easy if you don't want to do the whole like washing process. Now I like, if you remember in the early days of YouTube makeup, Michelle Phan was the person, right? Like she was everything. And her makeup brush cleaning technique has been the brush cleaning technique I've used for like over a decade. And it's so good and so reliable. So I will probably do a video on that. So I'm stamping over my eyebrows because this brush and how thick Clown White is, I feel like it might disrupt my brows if I drag it over. So I'm kind of doing like a triangular shape. With the white in the center. Put some white there, even though I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Probably with the eye makeup, I'm not going to go there, but we'll see. Okay, so now that I've placed my white, I'm going to use some sponges. Oh my gosh, it's funny. Like, I look so red when I put white on. But anyways, so I have my white on, and I'm going to make sure it's more even than it looked in my camera. Because I was like, oh, it looks pretty decent. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh God, no, it doesn't. Oh no, it does not. Okay, up in your nose skin. Okay, so even enough. If you have white foundation, like the Sunset Makeup white foundation or any other brand that has white foundation now, which is so cool. It's so cool that that is available. Still loads to do on inclusivity in products, but it's cool that we're having a start. So, oh shit, I have a phone call in a little bit. So I might have to leave halfway through this and be like just wherever I'm at to take a phone call and then come back. Okay. So I want to take a yellow and I'm going to take, so I've got two yellows in this palette. I have this kind of just primary yellow, and then I have this kind of yellow orange. So I'm going to take the primary yellow. It's got a little bit of green in it. So this color is going to be the color that I blend into a purple, which is going to be a color I blend into a black. So it's going to be a lot of just like placing colors there and then really just focusing on getting a good blend in between colors that don't normally blend together. So sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. If you take your time, usually it's not too much of a problem. But when you try to rush it, that's when it becomes real interesting. So I'm just using some wedge sponges. Depending on how much pigment your skin has, you might need more or less product, or you might want to go like white where you're going to put the yellow, so that the yellow shows up more. And also depending on the product that you have. So like if the yellow isn't showing up, like see, it's like kind of like it's not super vibrant, but let's see if we can build it up. Yeah, see, it's not super vibrant, and I don't love that. So I'm going to put the white where I want the yellow as well. So even if you don't have a lot of pigment in your skin, like I do. Okay. And it will also help the purple pop a little bit more. So it's not going to hurt the purple by any means, but it will interfere with the black. So you're going to have to kind of, wherever you plan on placing things. Because you're definitely doing this look too, right? We're doing this together. Yeah, sorry I did not keep track of time, but what's new? Now the tapping motion is definitely going to be the best coverage. It's going to give you the most even coverage, and it's going to keep it from getting really streaky. Which applying color, especially white, especially white, that's going, like, it's really easy to make white makeup streaky, which is why I like the innovation of the white foundation, because you don't have to worry as much about streakiness. You still have to worry about it, but not as much. Okay, so I'm gonna put white over where I put the yellow here. Okay, so now that you look horrific, so I think I'm going to stop here because the call is going to happen in like 5 minutes, and then we'll just see. We'll see what happens when I come back after the call. So sorry to be in this weird place, but it's more about it being weird for me than weird for anyone else. So so let's just consider this part one. Part one of a very what could end up being just a disastrous look anyways. That's what happens. I do already have like creasing in places that I normally crease under my eyes, stuff like that. That's very normal with a makeup like this. That's so creamy. It's bound to crease. So if you were to powder now, I always recommend getting like, using a brush or a sponge or anything. And, getting rid of the makeup that has creased, and smoothing it out and then powdering it down right then. So just make sure But if you were going to powder, right? Because again, you were doing the makeup with me, right? So, anyways, I'll let you go for right now, and then maybe I'll be back.